back to Auspiciously Charmed, your weekly charm divination reading. Thank you for joining me today. This reading is for the week of October 25th to the 31st. It'll give us an idea of what is occurring energetically over the next week, followed by a second cast that'll show us what is influencing these energies, and we will finish up with a cast that'll give us any sort of tips or tricks or any sort of advice to get through this week ahead. This reading is a general message from Spirit and may or may not resonate with you specifically. Go up here to the house of Leo, where we have a turtle. So this is the house of I will, our inner child, playfulness, creativity, pleasure, self-expression. And we have the turtle upright. So we've been going too hard, too fast for too long, and this is a call to slow down a little bit this week. It's a time to turn inwards. The turtle wants stable self-reliance and independence and security that is built through its own making. And it's a time to really slow down and observe what's going on around us, because we've been in too much of a hurry to appreciate the little things. We're in the house of Gemini, well, between the house of Gemini and the house of Taurus. So I think, and we have a Fae that's flipped. So when it's coming to our spiritual practices, the magic in the world, we're really stuck between this pull, this tug of war of what we think we can versus what we can. So we may have all of this desire and will to do something about a spiritual practice, and then just find that we just don't have the energy or the reserves to do it this week. And it's kind of causing this war in our own minds about how much we can devote to our spiritual practice versus what we physically can. House of Pisces, I believe, our subconscious, our self-undoing. We have an elephant again. And this has been a common theme. There's quite a few charms in this bag. So the elephant showing up again is that reminder that we have the determination, we have the persistence. Don't let anything stand in your way when it comes to your spirituality. Stand up for what you believe in. But this is a call, especially to have it so many times in a row, that we really need to reconnect with the divine and start trusting our intuition a little bit more. We have a lot of stuff going on in the void space this week, and we have a bead that's a happy face, and it's the throat chakra bead. And it was upside down. So we're feeling like we can't speak a lot of truth this week, especially when it comes to higher learning, philosophies, spirituality, expansion. We're feeling like we can't speak about those things, and it's really making us feel like we have to be defending everything that we say. And that's not surprising, especially because we have like the crown and the handcuffs falling together. Like, this shows me that there's going to be some more political revelations this week, that there's going to be illumination, because we have the waxing moon here, which is further illuminating a situation, and this is together. So I think that we can expect to have some of those hard conversations again this week about politics, about spirituality, and feeling like we can't speak our truth. When we speak our truth, we're feeling like we always have to defend. But here we also got the skull. And for me, this week, this is really showing that our ancestors are kind of reminding us of the battles that they went through in order for us to have the spiritual expansion that we are experiencing right now in this day and age. Like, the freedom and the liberty to be able to explore and grow and evolve was something that they really fought for. And so they're kind of reminding us that, yeah, it may be uncomfortable to speak your truth and to have these maybe political and spiritual talks that are very big, but they had these battles so that you could embrace this moment. Here at the pineal gland, like, the illumination, like there's going to be third eye expansion. Of course, we're all going through that, but there's going to be even more highlighted here soon. And they fought for our ability to have the freedom to do that. So don't be afraid to speak your truth this week. Expect maybe some headaches and migraines as your third eye expands this week. This is a acorn, or a pine cone, which is signifying the pineal gland. So work on your breathing practices, anything that you do to help with the third eye, because that could be very uncomfortable this week. What's influencing this week? The first thing that I noticed here is that the luck is flipped. It's upside down. So some people may be feeling really unlucky this week. It could be tied to the weather if you are feeling that winter came too quickly, and our ancestors are reminding us that the luck is still there. It's not that it's not there, you're just not looking for it. It may not be showing up in the way that you expected, but we are still being blessed and looked after and watched. We have a lot of emotions happening in this situation here, where we're going to be getting illumination on these hierarchies, the crown, the police, you know, that sort of thing here. And the sun is rising on a whole new way of being, and the love is being amplified. And as the love amplifies and this new sun rises, look at how this situation is being protected from these battles. So as long as we amplify the love here, this particular situation seems to be segregated from the rest of our experience, but emotions will be running high. Okay. So let's just see if Spirit has anything else. Let's add. So we have the green man falling here in this area that's also underneath Taurus. So I have our physical experience. So this spiritual battle that the ancestors are reminding us that we have, though it feels like we're unlucky, what they're reminding us is this is all part of that cycle of death and rebirth. And this battle is kind of the transcendent life force that is going to bring us out of that battle. This quartz kind of fell here in the house of Virgo, so we are told to amplify our health and our daily routines, and that will also help us navigate through this week. We have the hear no, see no, speak no evil monkeys, right dead center in the void space. And just because we pretend not to see, just because we pretend not to hear, just because we pretend not to speak about the things that are going on in our world, they are heavily impacting everything. So turning a blind eye and not speaking our truth is something that I think a lot of us are going to be tempted to do. But this is a period in our history where we are being called to do better in so many different ways, and now is not the time to turn a blind eye. Sun got pushed into Sagittarius here, the house of expansion. I just know that that sun is rising on that whole new age of Aquarius, that new earth. It's coming. It's a slow process, but we're doing it. We have a mushroom, and it fell in the house of Cancer, so our house of I feel, our inner foundation, sense of security, ancestry, our connection to the past and the foundation. And, you know, when I see the mushroom, I really think of being reminded of the magic in life, and being reminded that this particular reality in which we are navigating through is not the only one, and we have the ability and the magic to tap into different states of being if we just devote to it. And we can really find a lot of, so because this falls in the house of Cancer, and that has ties towards our ancestry, and we have our ancestors speaking through us through the void space. I think that we are also being called to this week to examine different states of reality, to tie ourselves to experiences with our ancestors. So any sort of past life regressions, any sort of ancestral karma exploration, meditations, guided meditations, things that can bring you more awareness of the battles that they face can help make sense of the battles that you are facing currently, because we are facing a moment in our history where the spiritual and philosophy expansion is so huge that it's going to be destroying and rebuilding all of these new systems. Like a new sun is rising on a new era. And, you know, even if those battles seem insignificant to you, your spiritual battle is part of all of it. And it's important. And it's a time to reflect on understanding where we are because of where we were. So this week we have a reminder to not be turning a blind eye just because we look away or pretend not to see or hear things. There are things occurring, and we're being called into action for that. There's going to be emotions running high as more is revealed with our hierarchy systems, our government, our matriarch. I don't know if we can call it that. I guess she's a matriarch, the queen, isn't she, in Canada? In England. Don't hold back the truth. It's time to really start speaking up. It's scary for sure, but our ancestors remind us this week that part of honoring them is honoring the battles that they made to get the freedoms that we have now. It's not that it's unlucky. Everything looks unlucky right now in 2020, but the Green Man's just kind of reminding us that this is that part of that cycle of regeneration and rebirth. This is just part of it. It looks unlucky, but it's all for a purpose. We can find some connection with our ancestors through the process of finding the magic in the world and realizing that there's other realities other than this. So don't get too consumed with the 3D world this week, and go inward this week. Really become self-reliant and self-dependent and create your own sense of security, and we have that determination. Connection with the divine needs to be our priority this week. Expect more illumination on all of this political intrigue that is occurring. Step up your good habits. And yes, that sun is rising. Thank you again for joining me this week. If this resonated with you, hit that like button. And if you're interested in future charm divinations, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you can be alerted when new readings are posted. Follow Auspiciously Charmed on Facebook and Instagram. Links will be in the bio below. And as always, shine bright.